Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Moise Kean has completed his move to Juventus this week. That is according to Fabrizio Romano, who's reporting it from someone else as well. Everton had obviously had this agreement in place. Kean has been on a 2-year loan with the club. It was due to be completed in the summer. It's actually been completed this week, or last week rather, end of last week. And that Everton have had the money. So there you go. Moise Kean is no longer an Everton player. He was sent off on Sunday after 44 seconds in the 1-0 defeat. Juventus' 1-0 defeat against Roma. Come on, 44 seconds later, red card. Silly boy. And what's interesting with that is the last game as an Everton player, he was sent off against Huddersfield. On his last appearance as an Everton player, he was sent off for Juve. So there you go. A mad one. It was sadly a move that just didn't work out for him. You know, come with a lots of potential. I was quite excited personally when we got him. Thought he could really develop well for us in that time, and it just never happened for him. And then did Everton look after him best he could? Probably not. Obviously, COVID was involved in that as well. Away from family and friends, didn't quite work, and in a house on his own and all that. And there was other mitigating circumstances. Obviously, Rafa Benitez didn't fancy him either and wanted him back out the door. And now he's gone back to Juve, and this season he's really kicked on and has done well for them this season. So we wish him well as he's completed his move to Juventus. Everton today have been linked again with a move for Lyon striker Moussa Dembélé. He becomes a free agent in the summer. Everton did inquire in January. The striker wanted to stay at Lyon. He turned down a move to Southampton. But the 26-year-old is interested in Everton again, and according to Tutu Makatu, Dembélé wants to return to the Premier League and will be interested in joining Everton should they remain in the Premier League. Just that big thing to sort out. Aston Villa have also been credited with an interest in the 26-year-old striker, so he might be a good option for Everton. I thought he'd be a very good option in January. He'd be a good option on a free in the summer should we stay up. And he's at the right frame. He's got goals. Mostly where he's gone, barring one poor spell at Atletico Madrid. Did really well at Celtic, and is a good age still. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to do our part of the bargain first, which is remain in the Premier League. Ben Godfrey said that he enjoyed being back in the Everton starting lineup on Sunday after he was drafted in at left back in Everton's 2-2 draw at the City Ground. Godfrey had been speaking about making sure the standards were high in training. Said since Sean Dyche come in, that's been the message. Keep your standards high in training. The good characters are carrying that through as well. And he just wants to work hard to try and get back in, and said that every point matters when you're in this situation. Everyone is disappointed that we didn't win the game on Sunday, but there are positives to take from the draw. There are, but we do need wins. We need wins as soon as possible. We've got another big game at the weekend. Obviously, Godfrey was in due to Michalenko's illness on Sunday. It remains to be seen whether he'll keep his place in Saturday's game with Brentford or whether Michalenko will come back in the starting 11. There you go. Tyler Onyango has returned to Everton after he suffered a hamstring injury a couple of weeks ago for Forest Green Rovers. He's been on loan with Duncan Ferguson there. Duncan Ferguson confirmed that Onyango has undergone surgery on his hamstring and will do his rehabilitation at Everton for the remainder of the season. Duncan said didn't expect Onyango back at Forest Green this season. It's a blow because he'd obviously spent the first half of the season on loan at Burton, and he'd moved to Forest Green Rovers in January, and obviously knew Duncan well from the time together at Everton. It would have been a good loan move for him to get games and to continue his education, but obviously suffering that injury. It's a big blow to Tyler, who he's picked up injuries in the second half of the season in the last few years, and it really has halted his progress, and this is a big blow for him. And Brian Ashley, who was on loan at Accrington Stanley, he's on crutches at the moment after suffering an ankle injury against Lincoln City last month. But there is no plans for him to return to Everton for rehabilitation. So that means that Accrington are hopeful that he's going to return to action before the season finishes, which is good news. He's made 34 appearances so far for them on loan this season. And there is a story today. The Daily Mail are reporting that Farhad Moshiri will not sell Everton fully, despite receiving several offers to buy Everton outright. The Mail go on to say it's due to concerns over his relationship with Alisher Usmanov. They think if he sells the club, the government will look into that sale. So that's why, according to this report, I'm just putting that out there, that's why he is favouring MSP buying a minority stake in Everton for the time being. There is some thought that MSP will take over Everton full time, but it might be a softly approach at first rather than a full sale. I don't know whether there's anything in this other than the fact that MSP are close, apparently, to completing their minority stake in Everton. So we'll have to wait and see whether anything else comes from that, whether they do get in their foot in the door and then complete the full purchase over time. Only time will tell with that one. That is it for the News Daily. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and see you later.